Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Prime Minister to visit central Kingston in wake of growing tension. Scores of residents receive land titles. And later in sports, Megan Tapper signs with Adidas. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carrie Simpson. Here are the details. In the wake of rising political tension in central Kingston, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is expected to visit the constituency in about an hour. This just days after the MP, Donovan Williams, and a group of JLP supporters were allegedly shot at by gunmen. The incident is the source of a police investigation. Now, Mr. Williams feels strongly that the attack is politically motivated. However, the police say they have not yet determined the motive behind Tuesday's shooting. In the meantime, the Office of the Political Ombudsman says it's urging calm among campaign supporters and the general public as the police conduct their investigations into the matter. To more news and politics, analysts have been weighing in on the tensions arising with not knowing the election date. Antonia Atkinson has the details.
Under the Representation of the People's Act, only the Prime Minister can call an election. It has been long argued that without a fixed election date, there will always be tension and uncertainty ahead of the date being announced. This election cycle has been no different. Already the political ombudsman has been called to intervene over multiple incidents. Political commentator Jermaine Barrett is however relieved, noting the 1-month window before the announcement.
There are lots of things that are put on pause right now because our politicians or ministers or members of parliament are caught up in this business of campaigning feverishly. And so we just need to get it over with. I am happy to hear that the elections are likely to be held in September, because there was a time when an idea was being floated that, the Constitution does permit for the elections to be held up to 3 months after the dissolution of Parliament.
For his part, political analyst Damien Mitchell is of the view the longer the Prime Minister delays in calling the election, it could spell trouble for the ruling party's future.
Since it is the prerogative of the Prime Minister, Prime Ministers will want to ensure that when they do announce an election, they are in the best position to win. And it comes right back to your question. Will this delay help or hurt the JLP in seeking to go for an unprecedented third term? Well, I think we're just about 3 or 4 weeks away, Jermaine, so we'll see it at that time.
Mr. Barrett is of a different view.
I don't think it will. I don't think it will hurt their fortunes. I think the Prime Minister's estimation is correct that Jamaicans had slipped deeper into apathy and were politically disengaged. And so a lot of time was needed to sort of re-engage the voting population at large.
He added that many remain uncommitted to either party as they see the election as transactional and are unconvinced by Jamaica's current political developments. It is highly anticipated that the date of the election will be announced at a mass rally on the weekend. Antonia Atkinson, TVJ News.
Allow the police to do their job. That from National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang. He is accusing individuals and bodies of dictating to the police force. A fiery National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang speaking at the opening of the Anchovy Police Station in St. James on Tuesday. He's again rejecting suggestions that the police still have a long way to go to get crime under control.
Neither Indicom, nor human rights lawyer, nor pastor who has a right to recover lost souls, nor teachers, anyone have the privilege or the right to instruct the police how to do police work. Policing is for police professionals.
He did not stop there.
The equipment, we buy them, and we buy them more. We're spending a lot of money. We design the uniform to wear them. They didn't reach that at the beginning. They didn't say that when we were out there. They were charging the police with being unprofessional, unethical, and criminal. but they wanted to wear a camera that they couldn't wear because the old pinstripe uniform could not carry a camera. So when they go on the street, they gave them some cameras, you know. Somebody gave them some cameras. And when I took office, my commissioner returned the cameras. We gave them back. Because they're not appropriate for Jamaica. But when they put them on, they would flip over and they take the policeman's face. And they say the policeman do it to hide what he's doing.
Dr. Chang insists the government has taken a holistic approach in addressing all concerns relating to the police profession. In the meantime, the National Security Minister is pushing back at attempts to use the law to do what he terms tie the hands of the police.
The Charter of Rights was passed by this administration at an earlier time, at the time Mr. Golding was Prime Minister. And much of the development of the work was done by Mr. Golding and Mr. Siaga in creating that charter. Those who try to use it to restrict and impair the work of the police, which is what they are doing, and I say that without any apology. Those who would like to use the legal framework of the Charter of Rights to restrict and impair the government's executive authority to protect its citizens is being dishonest and don't understand the challenge out there.
In the meantime, the National Security Minister continues to hail the work being done by the police to keep the murder rate down.
41% below in homicide rate, 20% last year, 8% before, could have been higher, and we're going to take it down to normal levels. Yet this government, this minister, has the kind of force and the leadership of the force to ensure, provide the resources we can get to levels that we used to be at post-independence. Jamaica not murderous people. We're going to get back to 600,000. But now we're taking it down in a legal framework.
Chairman of the Jamaica Police Federation, Sergeant Arlene McBean, is moving to address concerns among the Federation's members about wage negotiations for the 2025 to 2027 period. Her response comes in the wake of criticisms about how the updates are communicated. In a statement on Wednesday, the Police Federation chairman took members to task for sharing confidential information on social media platforms. She further urged rank-and-file members of the JCF to unite. In the meantime, she blasted the government for dragging its feet with the negotiations. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has revealed that the government is considering additional measures to address the ongoing challenges faced by many Jamaicans seeking to acquire land titles. This even after a recent amnesty was introduced to waive outstanding fees to facilitate the handover process. Dr. Holness was speaking at a land title handover ceremony in St. Catherine, where several residents received legal ownership of their properties.
Versus somebody who is struggling to reach it and he made an attempt and showed that he's... So it wouldn't be fair to the man who struggle and pay. So we're looking at it to see what are the pros and cons. But when we make policy, we must always look for equity, meaning fairness. What is fair? So we will announce in another couple of weeks when we revise it and look at it exactly what the final position is.
Additionally, Dr. Holness pointed to another major challenge affecting title distribution, the difficulty in locating original landowners and dealing with ongoing disputes.
Reason number one is that sometimes we cannot establish who owns what. Because under the Operation Pride system, the records were not always properly kept. So sometimes somebody have a receipt and then somebody come with a letter, right? And then somebody said, no, it was promised to me. This man had promised me this. And so there's a lot of unresolved disputes.
In the meantime, several residents of Nasberryville in St. Catherine were officially presented with land titles on Tuesday. This brings an end to years of uncertainty and marks a major milestone for the residents. Dr. Christopher Tufton is Member of Parliament for West Central St. Catherine. He hailed the moment as victory for the residents.
You're getting title for your land. That's a big deal. It has all sorts of implications, so clap yourself on that. And we want to thank the HAJ for managing that process. But we know that there are other elements of the development, and I leave the Prime Minister to speak to that. So God bless, thank you. We continue to work together, and let us just work together in the truest sense of the word so that we can get the development that the community deserves.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Housing Agency of Jamaica, HAJ, Norman Brown, says the agency is working diligently to regularize more communities across the island.
Each home in Neesbury Villa represents a promise kept, a promise to empower families, a promise to create safe spaces for children to grow, for elders to thrive, and for the community to flourish. These homes are also a tangible expression of the government's commitment to sustainable development and nation building.
And it's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News, and it's now time for the Business Minute.
Cash-strapped telecoms provider Digicel has upped the value of its planned debt raise, now seeking to borrow $3 billion in total. The company recently increased the size of its senior secured notes offering by $440 million, pushing that component to $1.99 billion. In addition, Digicel is looking to borrow another $1 billion. JP Morgan Chase and Barclays PLC are serving as lead underwriters for the issuance, which aims to refinance debts maturing in 2027 and 2028 and to help shore up the company's overall financial position. Further afield, Toyota has warned it faces a 1.4 trillion yen hit from Donald Trump's trade tariffs, as the Japanese company reported a drop in net profit and cut its guidance for next year. The biggest car maker in the world said it expected to make an operating profit of 3.2 trillion yen in its financial year to March 2026, down 16% on previous guidance of 3.8 trillion yen. The anticipated annual hit from US tariffs includes the impact of the levies on car imports, higher material prices, and a stronger yen. And those are the top regional and international stories. I'm Prince Moore.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, the United States has denied interfering in Guyana's September 1 elections following concerns about Azruddin Mohammed's candidacy. Mohammed was sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury in 2024 for tax evasion, and it could impact the U.S.-Guyana relations if elected. According to U.S. Ambassador to Guyana Nicole Terriot, if he wins, U.S. private sector interests might reconsider their dealings with the country. On the international scene, changes could be coming to the way the U.S. calculates its population. President Donald Trump is calling on the Commerce Department to create a new U.S. census that doesn't tally undocumented immigrants. In a social media post, Trump said, quote, "People who are in our country illegally will not be counted in the census." President Trump tried to make changes to the census during his first term with a U.S. citizenship question. However, he eventually backed down after being rebuffed by a Supreme Court ruling related to the matter. And those were the top international stories. I'm Jamila Maitland for TVJ News.
And we head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.